Okay, so I am going to add another part to this discussion on the shadow work journal. I'm sure you have seen it everywhere. I guess I'm just trying to help you understand that this is not a scary or a dark process. It is literally all about just taking a walk through your own humanity and your own mental health to figure out whether or not there's anything that you need to work on or fix. And a lot of times most people know they have things that they need to work on, because they struggle with relationships and, finances and weight or different things like that. And so they know that there's something going on, but they're not entirely sure. And shadow work is all about going behind the scenes. It kind of reminds me of like in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy walks behind the great and powerful Oz, the machine that's making all this noise and being obnoxious and, being all scary and everything. And they go behind it, there's just this little guy back there talking into a microphone. I think that's a kind of an accurate view of shadow self. But one of the things that I liked in this book was it was saying how to spot your shadow self. How do you know if you have a shadow self, or how do you know when it's acting up or when it's being triggered? So the first one was notice your triggers. Triggers are emotional responses that are often intense and seemingly disproportionate to the situation at hand. I'm on page 22 right now of the book. And so it can be an automatic knee-jerk reaction that you don't even have time to process it. You are immediately spun out. Recognizing patterns. Patterns are repetitive behaviors that may not serve you, but are hard to break free from. So you may be one of those people that tends to make the same mistakes in relationships over and over again, but honestly, your brain doesn't really know any other way to do it, so it just keeps doing it. This is part of that inside stuff that you've got to work on. Understanding projections. Projections are aspects of ourselves that we unconsciously place onto other people. And this one's huge because sometimes if we tend to be very negative people, if we tend to be kind of critical people, we see other people in that same lens and we assume they feel the same way about us. And as a result, any conversation, any dialogue that you have with that person, you assume that they are meaning exactly what you think would be what you would mean, because you assume they think like you do. You assume that they are believing like you believe, and sometimes that's negative, and sometimes that's positive. This was interesting. To understand your projections, consider the characteristics in others that you find extremely irritating or conversely over admire. Then ask yourself if these traits could be part of yourself that you've disowned or idealized. Wow. That was, for me personally, that was huge. That was absolutely huge because I can definitely see where I have attempted to align myself with people that have characteristics that I really admire. And part of it might be because of my fear that I can't actually possess those things on my own. And I'm working through it. And the last thing, actually, the second to last thing was pay attention to your dreams because they're rich sorts of symbolism. There's a lot of controversy, I know, in science as to whether or not dreams actually do mean anything other than just, neurons firing at night. But I do think that there's something to the fact that, a lot of people have dreams and they're about relationships or they're about things that are going on, but there is a lot of symbolism. And so Carl Jung said, pay attention to those. And the last one was explore childhood and past experiences. Reflect on your childhood family dynamics and significant life events. Identify unresolved issues, traumas, or unmet needs that might be contributing to the development of shadows in your life. When you do this, you look at your own life with compassion and curiosity, and it's an attempt to help begin that healing process for you. So this is again on page 22 and 23 of the Shadow Work Journal. I think I could go on for days about this journal. I guess my big thing is I just don't want you to be afraid. I think it's good therapy. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are hurting and that could probably really use it. It's an affordable, functional way to do a little bit of self-therapy.